Time for an update on this Skylark, so I'm going to catch up with JB and find out what the latest is. All right, JB, this 63 Skylark with the closing trunk, as you demonstrated.
Yes.
Give us an update. Clearly some work's been done since we checked in last.
At this stage, all of the pieces and parts were fitted prior to paint.
Okay.
Obviously, for obvious reasons, we want to make sure everything goes back together correctly. And now what we're doing is reassembling the car for one more trial assembly to make sure everything fits properly and that we have all the things that we need.
Okay.
One of the only ways that you can discover if you have all the rare and endangered parts for a car like this car is to put the car together.
Yeah.
It takes a couple of days. It seems superfluous, but in fact, you discover what you do have and most importantly, what you don't have. We've discovered a couple things, minor items like the transmission linkage and that sort of thing that we've already found elsewhere, and it's coming from another city.
Okay.
But put the car together, make sure all the pieces and parts are there, and that's one of the. Well, there's hundreds of those.
Right.
So you cannot do that from memory.
Right.
That's assuming you have a memory. I don't really want to rely on it.
I don't believe those door panels were in last time, were they?
No, and the door panels and all the kick panels and all that we make here, we ran out of that stuff a long time ago, and it was either cardboard and fell apart, or it was metal and got rusty. So obviously what we did to prevent that from happening in the future is we made everything out of composite so that it would last literally forever. And so we sell a complete interior kit to others if they want one, but what you see here is how they come, and then of course that'll be upholstered over in the final edition of the car. We've also mocked up the dash, which has the machine turn pieces you see here in the door.
Yeah.
You have these beautiful machine turn trim pieces that were really unique to the Skylark. Well, and those, as we talked about last time, we actually made from new old stock pieces, and we had them photo reproduced so that they'd be exactly like the original. There were a couple of colors actually that people are not even aware of. There were actually 2 or 3 colors of this particular Di-Noc, and we chose to pick this one because it's more representative of most of the cars.
Okay.
You also notice that a lot of the lines for the hydraulics have been installed. This is a set that you can buy. If you look over here under the seat, you also have a number of those. You can see it, all this spaghetti makes it very complicated, but what it's doing is it's sending a signal from the front of the car to this distribute block here, which we've had rebuilt, and then it sends a message to the various appliances like windows and convertible top and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And all of that is built into the quarter area here.
Yeah, we can even see.
You can see some of that stuff's already in place, and they've got the new cylinders that are available.
Right.
And so we want to try to replace everything with new as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And if we were to hand bend these lines, it would take three or 4 times as long, and it wouldn't really even be as good. But you can buy these commercially, and I really highly recommend them.
Okay.
They really help get the job done properly and a lot more quickly.
Yeah. Before you close the door, what's that on the seat?
Okay, this is the seat that's unique to the Skylark. This seat actually rolls forward when you pull on it, so allow access to the rear. If you notice, you have no access to the rear. So this seat actually slides this way, in that this is a 1-year, 1 model only seat. If you're missing the seat on your Skylark,
you're in trouble.
Suicide's an option. Okay,
wow.
You're just not going to find one. This is a new brake booster that we recommend for this era because the old ones, even though they can be rebuilt, are not terribly reliable. And when it comes to brakes, I am a fanatic for trying to do it such that the brakes always work.
Right.
You can do a beautiful car,
yeah,
but if the brakes only not work once, it's not a good thing. Okay.
They got to work every time.
Yes, and then Luigi the lawyer shows up. You know.
You're right.
So yeah, this is a brand new unit. It's designed by Ken Mitzen here in Phoenix area, and it's beautifully made, and he sells you everything that you need to set up this era of Buick, 53 and 4 for sure, and they're not terribly expensive, and I highly recommend them.
Very good.
So we're going to be installing that as well.
So what's next?
Well, we're going to continue to assemble it. A couple of the switches turned up missing, so we're going to be sourcing those.
Okay.
I have some at home, so we'll bring those in. Some of the stuff is not up to snuff quality-wise, so I have a supply of those in 2 different locations, and then I also have friends that have a considerable amount of that.
Okay.
And we'll be calling them and asking them to send stuff. We trade back and forth. Very rarely is there any money involved, because really when it gets to Skylarks, it's about the stuff. The money doesn't really equate very well. So we just trade back and forth, and if I need one of these, he'll send me one. I have 2 or 3 guys around the country.
What a great resource, and what a community, right? And
yeah, it really gets down to it, especially when you get down to a car that's this rare. Oh, I love the way that door shuts. You have no idea how long that took to make it do that. Yeah, that resource is something you need to cultivate, and money is okay if you're buying hog jowls or hogbacks or whatever they do at the stock market, but in terms of cars, you really have to have something to offer,
yeah,
other than money, because everybody's got money. But if you have a rare supply of parts for, it doesn't really matter what car, and you cultivate those relationships with people who also have a fair amount of that material and stock and parts and that sort of thing, then you can trade back and forth, and money doesn't have to enter into the issue.
Yeah.
And I find that the golden door swings open if you have the stuff they need, right, a lot more than just a handful of cash. So it's something to keep in mind when you're dealing with any of the rare cars, is develop relationships with people that restore them and own them, because undoubtedly they have some extra parts, and you need to make sure those parts get on somebody else's car or your car and not get lost in the garage,
right,
or at the factory.
Can you remind me what's going on under the hood?
We have a factory motor that's been rebuilt. We're in the process of putting it together in terms of intake manifold and the side pieces, and the carburetor, I understand, is now ready to be picked up. So that motor will be assembled completely complete, and then we'll test fire it, and then when we're convinced that it's operating properly with proper oil pressure, then we'll go ahead and stick it in. But it's already rebuilt, and so is the transmission.
Okay. So they should be ready to go, but you still test them first before you start.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's so much easier to do it on a test bench.
Yeah.
Make sure you got oil pressure, make sure that the thing is lubricating properly.
Yeah.
It's made by a very good company, so we're not concerned about it.
Yeah.
Ed Smith does most of our engines. This one was already done and came to us via the customer. So yeah, we're gonna use it because we got really great reviews on the company that did it.
Yep.
And this is going to be a really incredible car. So we want to make sure everything in it, especially the motor, the brakes, the operating systems, are really done properly, because we don't want to do them over.
Yeah, very good.
Takes a lot more time.
It's coming along
pretty
well.
Yes, it really is. It's going to be a beautiful car.
Yeah.
This is a great combination, a very rare combination.
Yeah,
a black outside with a red inside.
And are you doing a convertible top for this also?
Yes.
What color is that going to be?
Take a guess. If you said white, you are going to be asked to leave the room. Okay.
I was going to say black or red.
Good choice.
Black, okay.
Black. Yeah,
okay.
You got to have black.
Okay.
The red top on this car would just be.
Break it up, I guess.
Nah, it'd be clownish.
Yeah.
When you see this whole interior red, you're going to have plenty of red to deal with.
All right.
Got a red steering wheel, red dash, red door panels.
So go with the black
All the upholstery is going to be red. And as it turns out, and I have seen one of these with my own eyes, it is correct to have an all red interior. That was an option from Buick in 1953. A lot of people have concerns about that. They think it's always red and white or black and white. No, that is not true. You could special order red and red. Okay. And that's what this car is going to get, because the white just doesn't work. Yeah. It just, too many colors. Yeah. As my mother used to say, after the first 2 colors, stop. Okay. You're done. Okay. We don't need the 3rd color to mess with things. Okay. So this is going to be a completely red interior, or red guts, is referred to in some quarters, and a black outside. It'll just be a stunning car. It's going to be great. Yeah, it really will. Okay, cool. Yep. Well, thanks for that update.